Good afternoon, Smite fans, and welcome back to Week 7 of the SPL, Day 2, and we've got 2 more games to bring you.
4 more games, mister.
2 more.
2 more sets.
Oh, 2 more sets.
2 more sets.
Whatever.
So I'm actually running a show right now, so you think you can cast? You should be on that. I feel like there's potential there.
Thanks. I do try, but one day maybe I'll make it to the big stage. I don't think you'd make it on that show if you were actually on it yourself, because you just get red buzzed immediately.
Yep. JusTus and Paradigm coming up after that. Elevate and Team Solo Mid.
They're the games for today. Let's have a look at the schedule first of all and just show you exactly what's going to go on for this week overall. And you can see already played has been Team Ignitas versus Epsilon and Enemy versus Denial. But today we've got 2 matchups for you, and then the rest of the weekend. Don't forget we do have that game on Saturday. Cloud9 versus Enemy, which is the one that you can win gems on if you head on over to esports.smitegame.com and vote for who you want to win that game, or you expect to win that game, rather.
Speaking of voting, if you go to esports.smitegame.com, one of the first things that you'll see is a banner at the top that says, "So you think you can cast." If you guys have been keeping up with the show, please head on over and vote for who you think should make it on to the next phase. The top 2 that get voted in will move on to the challenge phase.
Now, on to today's games to begin with, and let's go over to Europe and have a little look at the brackets there and see exactly where all the teams stand before we get into today.
Now, obviously, Epsilon standing strong at 17-1. Small chink in the armor. No team going undefeated in season since Season 0.
Wow.
Cognitive Gaming went 8-0.
Well, let's be honest, the competition since Season 0 has increased time upon time upon time.
Yes.
And don't forget, patches do hit. But the game today will be Paradigm, who has currently sat 3rd, tied with Fnatic, I believe. Or was that Titan? I missed it already. But they're tied in 2nd seed right now, and JusTus sitting at the bottom of the SPL once again for so far the 3rd season in a row.
They're going to be playing with the noob Psybot of Smite, Sanjo.
That's a Mortal Kombat reference.
That was a Mortal Kombat reference, yes. Fantastic.
I'm so happy. We don't have a picture for Sanjo. He is the dark horse of this team. Not because he is actually a horse, it's just because he's a new member. He'll be going into the jungle for them now. Xephyr, who was once their jungler, is now going to be switching to the solo lane.
Okay. I'm a big fan of Qiwen and Fexez, always have been. I think these guys play at a super high level, and so far they've led this team well, but there's got to be an increase, especially for them to deal with Paradigm.
Well, the issue is the only 2 games they picked up this season have been against Titan, and they have been against Dignitas. Now, Paradigm, on the other hand, then, well, they've not really lost that many games. They've lost 6 this season. Epsilon, obviously, Titan they drew with, Lona Conspiracy they drew with, and only Fnatic have beaten them. I don't know if JusTus have what it takes to beat these boys.
I mean, I look at Trixtank, I look at Lawbster. I mean, these two players, for me, have just been insane since the beginning of Smite. Since the beginning of time in competitive Smite, these 2 names have been relevant to me. And I always look at Lawbster. There's no way to ban the guy out. He has 5 gods that he plays at a beyond tournament level, at worlds level, right? There's no way to stop him. So who else do you aim at? The big thing about this team is every single one of these players has a ridiculous god pool. Picks and bans means nothing to these guys.
That's the big key to trying to take them down. But before that, let's have a look at Alpha Draft and see the top performers so far. And you can head over there to earn real money by playing fantasy esports. It's pretty simple. You pick the guys you think are going to do well.
Right, and on today, you have a top seed going up against a bottom seed, right? But Hindu Man keeps telling you that it's free FP week.
I didn't this week. This was the first week I said it's not free FP week. I'm just going to point that out now before we even get into it. AlphaDraft.com, head on over there, though, and you'll be able to sign up, and you can see the top performers on the screen as well. And as you can see, it's the boys of EU that dominate that one.
Adapting and Cyclone Spin on top. I don't think anyone's surprised at that. Right now hailed as the best player in Europe and the best player in North America. These 2 are like constantly the players that the fans and the commentators and the analysts are looking towards. Although I'm starting to lean a little bit at Eager. I mean, Dare to Care's Nasha has me feeling some kind of way.
For me right now, the team of Eager just feels like the whole team is just improving drastically.
Very
and they're working
quickly.
so well together. They could be a real big option for the Worlds at the moment.
I'm
if they
looking
keep going the way they're going.
100%. I know that Omega has been a big win for them. It's Dare, man. Dare's rotations are getting his team fed. The guy's incredible.
That's Eager though. Let's go back to Europe, and we should be ready for picks and bans with Game 1 of Paradigm up against JusTus. Paradigm, well, they've had a good run so far. Can they continue this against a JusTus lineup that continues to change?
Paradigm going to take first pick here. Now, we're going into the bans phase. I'm expecting that we're not going to see Khepri make it through.
More than likely not. I mean, Khepri gets banned out most of the time. You'll see Giannis banned out. We've seen a lot of hell over in EU, but that's starting to drop off again.
I think we're seeing hell everywhere now.
Hell?
North America's really picked that one up.
I mean, it's rare that North America picks things up so quickly compared to Europe in terms of when these gods do come out.
Ares took them 2 years. Khepri gets taken away.
Was he even released? Was he even released by then? I'm not sure.
In North America? I have no, he's probably not out yet. That's probably why they don't play him.
So Khepri, like you said, banned out. Now he's going to be back over to Paradigm for their option. Circa, obvious pick here. Sun Wukong still on the table here. Do you expect a ban?
I would have to say so, because JusTus, if they don't ban this, I mean, Xaliea was playing Sun Wukong before Sun Wukong got buffed, before Bluestone got buffed.
Don't forget, Xaliea as well as Trixtank can play Sun Wukong as well, and has picked up a lot of times this season as well, and performed very well.
This has got to be the Sun Wukong pick, right?
I mean, it has to be. What else is left really on the table for them to take away? Bellona's not really top pick anymore.
I like the Freya ban, though.
It's generally Sun Wukong, and normally if you pick Sun Wukong, you're going to have to put like a Cyrus in the solo lane, or maybe a Sobek to deal with him.
Wukong gets taken away immediately. Paradigm has really good flex pick potential there. We have seen him jungle a few times as well, but I don't recommend it.
It's more than likely solo or support. They're the two that we'll see him go to, and to be fair, Cuvo, Fred, not that sort of player. If it is Cuvo playing for them today, I'm not 100% certain on that. I haven't found out from the team whether or not Cuvo's back this week or not. We'll know when we get into the game anyway.
JusTus going to take Athena, get a little bit of a global presence started, which is smart. Do you think they're going to try to get more? I mean, Apollo's still on the table.
Thor is on the table as well, and Thor's pretty high priority.
I was going to say, Thor with that semi-global. Not to mention, Cubo has had some really good games with him as well. Good call. Thor going to be grabbed.
More than likely going to see that one. I mean, to be fair, we've not actually seen much of Sanjo's play taken into account. The only games we saw him in was the last game against Dignitas where he picked up Hebo in the jungle. So he's got a wide varying god pool that he's not as scared of.
Neith gets grabbed. Very smart here. Taking that global presence away from the Athena Thor. Not to mention what we can see Funball do with this. This has been something in EU that we're not seeing in North America, and that's the charging of the World Weaver for what seems like no reason. It makes people panic. I don't know why it took so long to see this strategy, but I want to see Funball abuse it. Isis gets taken away as well, one of Lawbster's go-tos.
It is one of his go-tos, and for the most part this season, though, he's used a lot of Nuwa, a lot of Isis, a lot of Giannis.
I'm thinking, though, even though Lawbster loves this god, this could still be for Xaliea.
It could be. I mean, to be fair, actually, this season, I think he's actually been more Xaliea picks for this. He's like 3 times so far. Meanwhile, across the way, it's three and three. They've both played it 3 times each so far this season.
Trying to break the tie.
It could go either way. They picked in a lot of new WoW with this as well.
Poseidon gets grabbed. Okay, so decent matchup against Isis. Good clear. Stops her from being extremely dominant. Geb gets banned away. This is confusing to me to see a Geb pick, but
why,
I mean,
why are you confused by the Geb?
Well, because they have Wukong.
But Wukong could be solo still.
Right, well, Wukong could be support. The one thing they don't have here is a jungler. I expected JusTus to target the assassin. That was the only role that wasn't really filled. The only person of these that could really jungle is Wukong, and it's let's be serious, it's not very good.
If it is Cubo in the jungle this week, I mean, most of the time he's played a lot of Circa, a lot of Fenrir, a little bit of Bellona, but he's not really mixed up other than that. And there's that Hellbound we were talking about that is still prevalent.
That's good. I mean, Poseidon likely to go mid. You know, Athena likely to not go solo. The one thing they were really looking for there is either a hunter or a likely solo laner. And given the fact that Medusa is picked here, that means JusTus is looking for the counter pick in solo. So they're going to be locked away. The hunters are already picked. Final picks coming out from Paradigm. It's likely they're looking for... I mean, I'm going to assume a solo laner. I'm thinking Nuwa.
Thinking New White, that can obviously transition to mid as well, so it could be New White, could be Isis in both
Right,
these.
exactly.
And then it still leaves, if they pick New White, then it's definitely going to mean that Sun Wukong's in the support role if they give that one away right now, straight away.
Oh.
But Cabrakan, that's
All right,
definitely
so that's
jungle.
Cubo.
That's jungle.
That's Cubo, Fred. Cubo is playing this week.
And has Cabrakan been changed this patch? It's next patch, isn't it?
It's
Cabrakan
next
gets
patch,
him
with
a
the
buff.
10-second refraction shield.
We're buffing him, and he's getting played. What's that tell you?
It's... You don't want me to answer that question.
He's going to be more viable, is the answer you're looking for there. Last pick for Paradigm, though. What is it going to be? It will, in the end, be Anhur, which means we're more than likely seeing that Sun Wukong is solo. Actually, no, wait,
Nope.
I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for you to be confused.
I'm
I don't know
sorry.
why you were so confident about that.
Okay, it's Isis solo, Lawbster in mid with Neith. We've seen him do it times before. And it's Sun Wukong and her together in that duo lane. That makes more sense now.
Final pick here, I mean, probably going to be Bellona. It's probably going to be Fenrir.
I was
right.
Bellona. I mean, they've played it a lot, both of them this season. The one thing is, we've taken into account, though, that we've got a Fenrir, a Thor, And Xephyr is in the jungle. We could see Thor solo with the Bluestone now because I've heard a lot about double taps with Bluestone. It's very strong.
I just don't see why they wouldn't pick Bellona here. Remember, Anhur, Neith, both auto attack based. Bellona has 2 attacks to shut that down. Not to mention, Bellona, the only character in the game that can stop Cabrakan from getting off Seismic Crush.
Well, we are into game, and where are they going to be? It is going to be Xaliea in the solo line as Isis and Lawbster in mid as Neith with that power pot start.
Red pot Neith.
So talk to me about why is that so abusive? Why is it so strong?
Well, Neith already clears the wave so strong, and she's got that Bluestone pendant, so she's going to come out of the base with 40 power and the ability to dot everything. She's clearing the wave at level 2 guaranteed, and if you step one little piece out of position, you will die.
And the scariest thing is once you get Transcendent, if he goes for the Transcendence route on her, then Unravel, just rank 1 of Unravel, can clear the wave with a Bluestone pendant.
Can it really?
Mm-hmm.
Rank 1.
Rank 1.
Get out of here.
With Transcendence. You have to have Transcendence spell? Yeah, I've done it. It works. It's kind of crazy because the dot damage on the archers just kills them down. Kind of crazy.
We're into the game. We're noticing it looks like standard starts at both sides. It looks like the meta has completely been revised given the fact that the Paradigm players are no longer doing the Paradigm start.
Very defensive build from the Thor at the beginning of this game, though. Didn't go for the power pot, went for boots, and also picked up beads early on. What's he worried about with these beads? Is it the Cabrakan?
You know, it's hard to say. I guess he's maybe thinking that Cubo's going to invade the jungle. Oh, it's not Cubo, it's DaZer.
Yeah, I was going to double check that as well. And going into this game, they've actually switched this up again. Now, last week, Cubo is out because of school. I wasn't sure if he was going to be back for this JusTus game or not. They were hoping he was going to be, and he's not going to make it in here. And last week, we saw Trixtank playing the AD carry role. Funballer was jungle, DaZer was support. This time around, they're going to put DaZer in the jungle and try and give him more dominant lane, and the duo is what the plan is here.
I like the idea of picking him Cabrakan. You know, with Assassins, you have to have perfect chemistry. With having a frontliner, it just all comes down to, can you be aggressive?
Fexez already in a lot of trouble. Level 2 on Poseidon with Trixtank's rotation there. They get the in-hand with Lawbster to bring down First Blood.
And the worst news possible is the First Blood goes to a Hunter. You never want to see that.
And Neith as well, so that global presence will be online a little bit quicker, which means she can really influence the fights.
Let's take a look at the solo lane here as Fenrir is starting to catch that work.
It's pretty much exactly as expected. I mean, Xalia's got the push power with this Isis early. I'm going to continue the poke. We actually check out Fenrir, though. What's he actually leveled so far? Will he put points into Howl?
He's got to walk away from this.
He's got to put points into Howl early in this lane, and he has done.
I don't know why they would have picked this with the board that they had. Fenrir doesn't have the greatest matchup, given the fact that the silence is going to stop Brutalize. She can inherently turn on him very quickly with Spirit Ball if he unchains in. I mean, he doesn't have an escape from her. Not to mention that World Weaver is going to start making a big play soon. The only hope they have is that Sanjo starts getting online and gets that presence going.
Look at that thing from Trixtank, though. He rotated out this lane so early for that level 2 gank, and he's actually ahead of Funballer in experience there. How is that possible? He didn't get the kill.
Hey, Bluestone Pendant.
But he didn't get the kill.
How
did he
really
get
quickly.
So much? So what did he clear? I mean, he just took away mid right side.
There it is.
Will Weaver comes out nice and early. 2 minutes in, level 5 Neith. Thank you very much.
Lawbster has 2 kills. Beautiful combo, but might have pushed him a little bit too far there. We should see Qiwen able to escape, but at the same time, he is crippled. That health pool very low, and same thing for NBK.
I mean, go back to the Fenrir versus Isis matchup as well. You said Isis should have a pretty much dominant lane there for the most part. Early wave clear better, and if he tries to engage on it, can silence out the Brutalize, turn it around with a Spirit Ball as well. I'm surprised that JusTus did that because they're pretty much known for their good picks and ban strategies and the fact they've got knowledge in the back room that should be helping them to get through these storms. And they've seen Xaliea do this before with this Isis.
So, actually, one more time. Let's see if Qiwen... No, not going to get aggressive. I want to see if Fenrir is going to just strictly try to level up the Howl. I think that's the key here is maxing Seething Howl first and going for a more auto-attack based build. Middle lane, though.
Really aggressive, and he's only level 4, though, so Fexez does not have... And that's the Bluestone with the Unravel proc in there just for the tick damage at the end. Really nice play from DaZer and Lawbster to realize that he wasn't level 5, though, because that could have been bad if he just ticked level 5 and the Kraken came out.
More pressure. Oh, wow, Qiwen in a lot of trouble here. And, yeah, I mean, Trixtank doing a lot of damage, gets up into the sky. Funball hitting every spear, 4-0. And the kills so far, I mean, we got 3 on Neith, 1 on Wukong, with assists on everybody.
And at the moment, we've not seen Sanjo manage to get in the game because wherever he's probably tried to look at going, they're already dead before he could turn up and try and support them if they were getting ganked.
Let's take a look at Golden Hand, my favorite stat in the whole game. You'll see Neith coming back to lane with a very small amount as she does finish up her boots on her, getting close as well.
Now, what we're going to see out of Xaliea here, because he's got 1,500 gold, and he went for rank 1 of potentially Blessed Plate of Valor, but it could be Mail of Renewal. What would you see him go for?
It has to be Mail of Renewal.
First item, though?
It's the... Well, maybe not. I guess not his first item. Perhaps he'll leave it. He'll leave it. go for boots,
and then come back.
And then come back to Mail of Renewal. Mail of Renewal is the best item in the game.
Well, Ragnarok has been used there. Is in a little bit of trouble with that Athena ultimate coming in, but the silence bought a second, followed by the World Weaver, and Qiwen will go for a taunt here. Find it. Can Xephyr follow up with the Unchanged? Yes, but Circle of Protection down, heals himself back up. He'll fall down in a second because the minions have given him an aggro, and he's trying to trade out with Xephyr, but the Archer's not enough yet.
Xaliea made such good choices there. By using the silence when he did, he stopped Fenrir's ability to chase him down. The extra slow got him out of the Defender of Olympus, and then the Spirit Ball hitting both. I think the big problem there was that he used the ultimate a little bit too late. He took damage that he didn't need to, and the explosion didn't heal him for as much. He probably could have exploded it sooner too, and maybe gone for the kill on Xephyr, but I mean, you can't fault him for making one bad play when he made 6 amazing plays right before it.
Well, he does fall down. It's the first kill going over to JusTus. He went straight back to base, though, picked up beats and the breastplate of Valor immediately, so he just wants to be super safe in this lane.
See, breastplate is confusing to me, because if he goes into breastplate, this means that Mail of Renewal could still happen. But at this point, there's no way to build into that Chronos Pendant, which means he's limited his damage. And by going into this, he can't safely build Mail of Renewal without losing his entire damage pool.
Isn't this like old school solo lane, though, that you're against a physical solo lane and a physical jungler, so go for a defense item and you're safe?
Right, but the issue is that Mail of Renewal is the best item in the game. It is not a discussion. In this patch, Mail of Renewal is uncontested the best item in the game. And to go Breastplate of Valor in this spot, either... I don't know. I mean, it should work out. I mean, he's going to be pretty far ahead given the fact that Neith is super fed and it might not play in super hard. But at the same time, it is cheap. It's going to give him cooldown reduction, which could help on the push. And it's going to save him against, you know, more damage coming out from Xephyr. But it looks like he's playing for the mid game.
Trixtank a little bit too far forward there. He's going to get a Kraken for free. This is old Trixtank.
That's a win for Blue.
But that's an old Trixtank, and now look at the aggression coming out from Paradigm here. They're going to pick Qiwen off. Sanjo's in the sky, going to look for a dunk. They're split up from Paradigm's boys, though, and they're going to go for Trixtank, who is in a bit of trouble here.
Well, Trixtank killed Fexez in the back line?
I didn't realize that.
He chased him down. I saw him jump down there, right? And was very smart. He jumps down. He immediately uses the cudgel. Then he waits 2 seconds and then hits the Master's Will to chase with the slow and reapply the Bluestone. He really got maximum damage out of his effects there. Not to mention wasted the Kraken early on and let his team burst down another kill before that. It was Qiwen, right?
Yeah, and the reaction as well from Paradigm just to collapse onto Sun Wukong immediately and support Trixtank was great, because immediately they were the ones that turned up first before JusTus could even respond to the initial aggression. And to be fair, Trixtank, he's doing what he used to do now. He's got his Sun Wukong back. He's being that cheeky little fellow that invades the enemy jungle, gets himself caught out, but makes it work for his team.
Shout outs to Bluestone.
Is that all it is? You reckon it's just Bluestone that's making him so viable?
I mean, Sun Wukong is good. He's good in different roles. He's just he's a good character. But Bluestone takes it a little bit farther. Bluestone makes him unstoppable. ImDazer going for the... He's got the Seismic Crush. Tectonic Rift going to stun as well. And again, Lawbster finds a kill. ImDazer pretty
Qiwen's
low.
in trouble too. Qiwen's really pinned the corner by Trixtank there. Don't think he's going to be able to find the kill, though, because he will strike away by mid lane. Xephyr still chasing.
Let it go.
Can he find it? No, Unchained's in. Doesn't find the connection. And now Lawbster. Oh, if that Spirit Arrow hit, it may have been another opportunity for
Lawbster
Paradigm.
should have waited there. Had he waited another like second to a second and a half, the Master's Will would have been applied and it would have been easier to hit the Spirit Arrow off the slow. He tries to get cheeky, goes for the early damage, trying to apply that Bluestone as fast as possible. They don't mind getting that kill, and Xephyr probably counting his lucky stars there because he was overcommitted. Granted, he still had Ragnarok available.
Well, Paradigm get the right and Harpies. Now they're going to get left with 4 men being able to have the opportunity to rotate there. To tune in with Xaliea with landing a nice Spirit Ball on Xephyr, who took a lot of poke there again.
That was a lot of damage.
It should be okay, though, because he's got Howl. How many places are he going Howl?
What level's the Howl side, if we can see it?
So he's going into his second over the Brutalize. In the jungle again, Trixtank being aggressive, forcing the cloud. DayZer's chasing a little bit deep here, changed his mind and backed out. Good call. They got Thor ult for free. Well, not free, but for some Wukong.
Yeah, good. Sanjo needed to get out of there. If he went in, he would have gotten baited.
Did Kraken? I think Kraken got used there again onto some Wukong as well. So
can we see? Oh, actually, no. Let's take a look at Xephyr. Xaliea getting pretty cheeky here.
Yeah, just being aggressive on this side of the map, knowing that there's a few ultimates down. There's not a whole lot of pressure that can put him. I mean, Thor just used ultimate there. This is why Xaliea feels like he can go aggressive in this. And he's actually got a level lead now over Xephyr on this Fenrir.
You know, one of the things we criticize a lot is the Poseidon pick. Right, Poseidon was a little bit better in this meta thanks to the fact that there is a higher chance that you're going to hit that Kraken with Aegis being nerfed. But and especially when you couple that with something like Thor. But we're not seeing Thor rotate.
Yeah, Sanjo's not managed to find anything yet. As we see Xaliea bring down the tower, Sanjo was on his way, but he's going to meet a jungler and a mid laner waiting for him, and he has to disengage.
I love that Mjolnir's attunement reaction from ImDazer and Lawbster. It's like, oh, thanks for the blue buff.
they're going to get the blue for free unless a blink in from Qiwen's going to get a big taunt off. Whirlpool is down. Kraken not available, though, for Fexez to follow up any further damage. And in the end, the blue buff, well...
I was really surprised that we didn't see DaZer just ult and lock somebody in there.
Just keep him pinned down for the whole time.
Just keep him pinned down, force them to spread out, maybe even go for the sack. Trixtank, though, look at this guy. Everyone's on right, I'll take something on left.
And this is what Trix has been doing all game long, pretty much, in this left-hand half of the jungle
Trix,
consistently.
Enough.
But then no one's come in, so take what you can.
Oh my god, he's literally stealing their entire jungle.
And he's level 11. Look at the difference between him and Qiwen. Look what Funballer's doing too. He's on Gold Fury as Trix is doing back harp. He's like, well, guys, no one's on this side of the map, so let's just do Gold Fury as well. Still no one responded. And Paradigm, 9 minutes in, get a Gold Fury as well.
Zidane, yeah, right there to the grabs.
Wow.
5,000 gold at less than 10 minutes. Paradigm up by 6 kills and 8,000 experience. And they're not done. They just fought a Gold Fury.
And the Kraken.
And again, the Kraken gets used too early. Trixtank's still going to chase this down just to force them away from any potential farm.
He's just going to keep poking as well.
All
Tiger Stance hits onto Sanjo. Sanjo in trouble, has to hammer away. Now the Cloud comes out as well. Meanwhile, mid lane, Lawbster, thanks to that pressure, he's been able to chip down at this mid tower.
Oh, and Qiwen dashes in. Actually gets hit by the weave. Damage coming through as well. A little bit of healing for Lawbster, still sitting full health, half mana.
Really rough situation from JusTus, and I feel really bad for them. They were formerly known, you know, days gone by as... Oh, I forgot the name already. It was... What were they called before JusTus again? I should know this. I should know this, and I can't remember. Upcoming Stars, of course.
Upcoming Stars.
But this is the 3rd season in a row where they're ending...
Well, these aren't the Upcoming Stars anymore.
They're not.
Is there a single person?
It's just Upcoming Stars. You with me? Yeah.
Is that what the... No.
No, it's
anyway, Sanjo wasn't US. Fexez, Qiwen, NBK, none of them were US.
This is all the team from Challenges as Trixtank gets himself on a killing spree after a nice quick kill onto Fexez, who did not have Kraken available again. But yeah, it's a different roster, but still it's the same position they were in the last 2 splits. They've not managed to increase their performance in the SPL, and they're still struggling. I
mean, I'm looking at the net worth right now with some Wukong being higher than anyone on the side of red.
Don't give Trix some Wukong. It was mentioned early on. DaZer's going to use the beast to get away from the Ragnarok, and the tier 1 tower in mid will fall down. So Ragnarok on cooldown for the time being. And with the Gold Fury down, look what Funballer's off doing. He's pushing that solo.
There's already 3 objectives down, right, with the Gold Fury counted as well as 2 towers. Funball looking for the 4th. Not going to get it on this wave, it seems, but he's not being super contested. You can see Medusa's trying to work her way back to the lane, but she can't commit to this defense because if she does, she's going to get rushed down.
Talk about rush down, look where Trix is, round the back, level 12 at the moment. Equal level with this Medusa, who has the beads early. Spirit Ball not going to actually stun, but the damage is still enough to put Trix in a decent position to try and find the kill. Funballer will pick it up, and finally Trixtank falls down. Raid boss down.
Xaliea actually going to fall as well. A 2-for-1 trade so far in favor of JusTus. The first sign of life that we've seen so far this game, but they still lose the tower as well. So far, still a win for Paradigm, but JusTus have the ability to turn this. The issue, Sanjo, low health. Not going to be able to go back in. They're looking too hard at Qiwen in this one, and if they commit, the baits could be...
Funballer lazy back, and Lawbster was lucky enough to stay around. There was Zephyr out of mana, and no Kraken available for Fexez. This could be a mistake as a leap comes in from Funballer, perfectly timed to set Lawbster up for the kill.
That was gorgeous. I mean, just to disperse, the way that he knocked him towards Lawbster, I mean, this is the kind of play that we expect out of Paradigm, and I'm sure the kind of play that JusTus expected out of Paradigm. 10-3 right now, with, of course, Paradigm really holding the rope on this one.
I mean, would you call that a lazy back, or would you call that a bait back?
That was a bait.
Would you really
it was 100% a bait. That's why they did it right near each other at the same time, right? It wasn't staggered. A lazy back, someone just would have backed and the other person would have been doing something. They planned that specifically, that if someone jumped in, they could both react to it, which is also why Xephyr waited so long. He was trying to see if maybe Lawbster wouldn't have realized that he jumped in so late. But I mean, like, it's a Fenrir jumping into 2 hunters that have jumps. Like, there was only one way that was going to turn out.
And you can see the support Wukong with Jingle Bang just cleared the wave in 1 hit pretty much. I'm going to head back to base. Looks like he's going straight for that Mail of Renewal, which we can also see DaZer has picked up as well.
It's the best item in the game. It belongs on every character in the game that isn't a hunter.
And why is that? Because is it because of just the presence if we win a team fight?
Literally everything you could ever want out of an item. It's health. It's a lot of health too. Can we actually hover? It's 300 health, 40 defense, 15% cooldown reduction, and then if you get a kill or an assist, you get 20% of your health and mana back. If you're connected to an Aphrodite, everyone's just full healed. You're near hell, everybody's full healed. It's crazy.
Well,
that's also why we're likely to see, the patch notes showed a few negative adjustments to make sure that this item's a little bit more in line. I'm still expecting that with the reduction in passive by 5%, that it's still going to be the best item in the game.
We'll see as time goes on, but for the time being, everybody going to be picking this one up. Right, Hoppies did just go to Paradigms. They're going to find Fenrir in the jungle here. Going aggressive, good Ragnarok, and the Will Weaver's not going to hurt him because he was in immunity frames now. DayZ on the backside doesn't get a good wall, but he's actually going to get a great Tremors off that's going to pin 2 in.
Sanjo takes to the sky. Does he look for the reinitiate? Qiwen already fallen down, and I like this in the backline that Xephyr is using Seething Howl on the camp just to try to get some health back, but he's got 4 very healthy members of Paradigm staring this tower down.
From Trix, and just Jingle Bangs forces the Masters well for the slow. Kraken comes out hitting 2, but not much damage as Fenrir tries to leap away. Does get out of danger, but Medusa is caught.
There's very few things in Smite that can be considered more aggressive than using your beats to stop the knockup from a Kraken so that you could walk through it and continue killing people. That's right there what Lawbster did, showing why they are one of the top seeds, if not the top seed in Europe coming out of the last LAN.
And Paradigm, you can see there, dive in the tier 2 tower, then going back to pick it up as well. They're looking for the Phoenix now, but Golfury has just respawned.
Yeah, they're going to take the safe route here. They could actually go left lane as well, but...
There's red buff up, red buffs up Lucian, they know because they took the last one. Left Harpies, Golfury as well. Maybe look for the tier 2 if they're interested in continuing
Honestly,
this path.
I think Golfury and back is the best way to do this. Let's pretend that they're going to add another 300 gold apiece. Let's go to the graphs here and see exactly how it's going to look. They're going up to about 11k here. Gold in hand going to spell big wins.
Rough situation now for JusTus because Paradigm have just taken this game by the scruff of the neck from the outset, really. That first rotation in from DayZ and some Wukong onto Fexez in middle lane. Deleted him, and then from there they were just like, well, let's just focus on continuing what we started.
It looks like Lawbster and Xaliea are in that one more wave syndrome. Can we see gold in hand here? What are they trying to get?
1800 on that Xaliea, so he's probably going to head towards... I'm expecting potentially Warlock Sash here.
See, Warlock Sash is probably the right call. What I would like to see, him get a little bit more gold and rush down Gem of Isolation.
Gem of Isolation, very expensive though.
Right, but he's already gone into Breastplate of Valor, right? So by going into Gem, he builds a full utility Isis. Massive cooldown reduction, still a small amount of penetration, but adding slows to how many abilities that do damage on her kit and how many times he can apply it. I mean, the slow ratio is going to be insane, and no one has enough money to build a Heavenly Agility at this point on JusTus. It would completely shut the team down.
Trixtank off, wandering the jungle once again. He seems to like this side and going against 2 quite happily, going to get taunted in. Fexez might look for some aggression here. Good knockback. Trixtank is forced to ultimate. It's the first time it's not worked out for him. I
mean, they actually used 2 ults there, burning that and the World Weaver, but they're probably not going to be too phased. Xephyr, yeah, you can't do that. That's still a level 14 Wukong. That
your support is Paradigm support is higher level than everybody other than Xephyr on JusTus's side here.
That's rough.
And when you actually check in with him against his own team as well, he's really up there as well.
Yeah, Cabrakan's pretty close. You see DayZ about level 15, but I mean, then you look at the 2 level 17 hunters.
And they'll combine so nicely as well. Build-wise, I'm surprised we didn't see Funballer get an execution a little bit earlier just to help increase the damage that Neith can do too.
That's true.
It would have worked out nicely.
But they haven't really been hanging out too much.
I don't know, with that duo lane kill that they baited them in, that was a hangout.
Right, but they weren't really auto-attacking. At that point, it was still like we're in hunter ability damage. A lot of that damage came out from, the Disperse and the Impale, and the early kills were the Desert Fury from the World Weaver. Like, it was a lot of that. At this point, this is where you're going to see the major auto-attack items come online. The Executioner's done. It's likely going to be one as well. For Neith, yeah, she already has an Aussie. It's probably not going to be chin size. He doesn't have enough pen for it.
So if you Paradigm now, what is your decision going to be? Are we looking for the Fire Giant here? Or are we just looking to end?
Force the fight. Force an objective. Go to the tier 2 on right and force them to defend it. Take 2 kills and then force the Fire Giant. Leave the tower standing.
They are all swinging towards the Fire Giant and that right-hand lane. Fire Giant going to be started up here by Trixtank as well.
Or force the fight at FG. It's
no wards were placed down, though, from them to actually check if there was anything here,
yeah, but
I don't believe. Well, we see one going down now. Obviously, JusTus well aware of this, grouping up nicely. Trixtank going to be the first one there. Sanjo taken to the sky. Will he dunk down on the backside and try and find a pick onto Lawbster? He could be a prime target. Yes, he is. Is backflip available? Yes, he will get away, but Ragnarok going to chase him down. Lawbster should fall down here any second to the in-hand. Meanwhile, on the backside, Xaliea does pick up Sanjo, and now with Trixtank and Funballer zoning out the other remaining 3, Xephyr's going to fall.
I think a big part of that was DayZ used his abilities incorrectly, right? He goes in there, he uses the Seismic Crush activation for movement speed. He's going to get the kill here, but then he immediately uses Tectonic Rift before getting his stacks. The only reason that we saw Lawbster fall there is because there wasn't the CC necessary from ImDazer. Perhaps that's, the sub playing in a role he might not be 100% familiar with. Cubo Fred, every time we see him play this god, it's 100% uptime on his CC. ImDazer, on the other hand, he dropped a big activation of defense for his team, and with it, 2 of them fall. Luckily, though, they still pick up big things on the side of Paradigm. They still have their Hunter available as well, but strangely, the Hunter not going to help on the tier 2.
Funballer 4-0 on 4 right now. Got a double kill out of that fight as well. Going to head back to base, pick up that executioner, get his first bit of crit, and he's going to rely on Xaliea and ImDazer here to bring down that tier 2. I think the decision was right, because he's going to be back in the fight to defend if these guys want to recall, or just start the fire giant.
But, I mean, they were pretty slow on the defense on the side of JusTus. There was no reason they should have let a Cabrakan and Isis take a tier 2.
Well, by slow, I mean they were all killed, so they had to go back to base.
Not all of them.
4? 4? Really sure 4 died. Double kill for Funballer on one side. Xephyr dies on this side as well. There was 3 that I saw. There was
you said 4. You can't take it back.
I'm pretty sure it was 4. Pretty sure it was 4. I'm going with 4. 18-5 though, coming up on the 20-minute mark for Paradigm. Paradigm this season as well. Their fastest win was 12 minutes this season.
I don't think
it was when Myrmidons had a DC, I believe, in that game.
It was rough.
But their slowest win was 38. I don't think we'll see it go that far.
So we see Isis go into the Ethereal Staff. At this stage of the game, it's a much better choice than Warlocks. Warlocks definitely a better use of your gold most of the time, but given the fact that we're super late and they're looking to already do Fire Giant and end, he doesn't have time to stack anymore.
Well, Qiwen was trying to ring him around the roses, takes a lot of poke damage. Lawbster's under a lot of pressure there, being forced away. Meanwhile, ImDazer focusing with Funballer to try and pin Fexez into a corner, and they've got him, but the Kraken is good to knock him out of the tremors. Wow. Still, though, Paradigm collapse and clean house.
I 100% expected that Spirit Ball to go and hit the person right in front, but he goes all the way to the back line with it, and then Disperse combos them right into the wall. Beautiful. Zephyr's Ragnarok's going to be down. 0% chance of him stealing this one without help. He's going to need a very big Athena taunt for him to try to steal this with something like Unchained, but even then, I don't think they're even going to try.
3-for-1 trade in favor of Paradigm. Fire Giant's going to fall down too, or is it? Because it's getting low, but Qiwen is on the way. Circle of protection down. It's very unlikely we'll see Athena steal this one. She's going to make a play though.
Oh,
and Paradigm do get it. She'll play with her life, but at least it was effort.
She almost had that. This is kind of the point where I'm seeing F6 now. Right? They just lost their support, who's level 12 at 21 minutes. They don't get the Fire Giant. Paradigm have complete control over this one. And, I think this might be the story that we're going to see today, right? This is going to be a top seed versus a bottom seed, right? It's
TSM versus Elevate in our second game is going to be the same sort of thing we expect.
Right. Granted, TSM has the quote, new roster, right? With
But they come back to original and just replace Devios
exactly.
with Bickham. That's the difference.
See, that is definitely a downgrade. That is not a side grade. I mean, this is the only hope that they have at this point is that Bickham meshes well with the team. Because one of the big issues, and Divios on his interview today said it himself, is that Divios doesn't have a great rapport with his team. He doesn't have the same interests, things like that. So perhaps Bickham will mesh a little bit more and the chemistry will be good.
Well, they wouldn't be picking Bickham up unless he did have something for the team that he can use, right?
Unless they just wanted to replace Divios and Bickham was the only person left, because solo laners are impossible to find in North America.
Well, there's kind of difficult in the EU too sometimes as well.
Yeah, solo lane right now I think is the most wanted role.
And back to this game though, we are still in Europe. This is game 1 where Paradigm honestly are dominating JusTus right now.
So, what are we thinking here? I mean, Fire Giant's been taken, Gold Fury's down. There's one tier 2 remaining. I mean, they're just going to run up the left side here.
I think that's a game plan overall, isn't it? Fire Giant's online, all 4 members get it because Lawbster did get picked up there.
Rip Lawbster.
He's been the casualty of war this game.
He really has been. He was also the person that got the first 3 kills of the game.
Which is a big setup for him as well.
9-2-6 right now. Can we take a look at net worth? Just want to show you guys this graph. There is a significant 1,300 gold difference between the support and the highest farm on JusTus.
Now, granted, you normally do have a lead because of the towers and Fire Giants as well, but this should at least be maybe the solo and mid should be a little bit higher up. I mean, Fexez being that far down is just so unfortunate.
22-6 here. They're looking for the way that they can rush in. I'm expecting ImDazer is going to be the one to go in here. No, it's going to be Qiwen.
Big taunt in. The cripple connects, but not enough. But look at the burst damage onto Qiwen.
Bye-bye.
His commitment has cost him his life, and now Xephyr having to run away in the Doge form. No, coming back as the Kraken hits him lot, but the protection circle was down.
Oh, and nobody fell? That was like the God Kraken right there. And still, Lawbster able to pick up Fexez. VoteNBK doesn't have a way out of this one. Sanjo going for a stun, finds 3, but unfortunately the rest of his team has already been sacrificed. Funballer goes right in and is going right for the win.
Minions on the way in. Sanjo still here trying to do what he can with the Berserker barrage on the backside, but a big crit from Funballer followed by ImDazer coming in for the cleanup crew. Paradigm take game 1 very quickly.
That was clean, 27-6. And a lot of that has to do with this comp that they've drafted. I think Neith is still a rather underrated god to the point where this World Weaver in the first 20 minutes of the game is incredible and is very hard to replace.
But it's also his safety as well. I mean, even in the mid lane with the Bluestone start, she can clear the wave effectively. She doesn't have to get involved and mix it up with those mages and the junglers that rotate so early now. Sits back, hits level 5, and then the World Weavers come out and she makes an influence.
That was just killer. I mean, Paradigm looked perfect. Here's First Blood. You see Lawbster cleaning it up really quickly, and then immediately, no question, just turns, and it's like he's done this a bajillion times because he has. Starts landing auto attacks on Sanjo. And that first shot was blind. He just aimed it, knew exactly where he was, and Lawbster with that earns player of the game.
Blind shots, so you play over the game, and you can see the stats on the screen, 10, 2, and 10. Fantastic performance from him and the boys of Paradigm today, even with a substitute Qiwen not being here. And actually look at them last week when they put Trixtank in the Hunter role and Funballer in the jungle. This looks better for them to put ImDazer in the jungle here right now from what I see
Look at that.
This game.
Right there. He knew he couldn't auto-attack because of the wall placement from the pillar, so immediately throws a Spirit Arrow to lock him down there and then throws the Unravel over the wall while he starts to rotate over just in case it wasn't enough.
And I think this is wise with what they did with ImDazer too this time. He's normally a support player. His main role is support.
Give him a Guardian.
Give him a Guardian. Put him in the jungle. It's the same sort of role he's going to fulfill. Something that we saw from the previous season.
That's right. The early game is much different, right? Early game, it's a lot of camp splitting with mid. You're not doing a lot of babysitting. It's all about aggression. But late game, if you put a Guardian in the jungle, you are playing the same role as support. You are just a frontliner.
Oh, well, that's game 1. Let's have a look at Alpha Draft top performance. I expect to see this all Paradigm more than likely.
Yeah, this is probably going to be all 5 Paradigm. I can't imagine that anyone's going to get close.
Well, nobody on JusTus had any net worth whatsoever. I think Xephyr got the kills for the most part. That was about it. Fexez hit some big ultimates, but no damage. So what was he going to be able to do?
Lawbster tricks Xaliea Funballer. No, you're right. Xephyr, 13 points on the bottom, but Lawbster breaking 50. Made that 50 club.
Who didn't make it? ImDazer. Rubbish sub. No, he's not in the system, that's fine. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Say rubbish sub.
Xephyr gets it. Yeah, well, ImDazer is a rubbish sub. Let's be honest. That's why he's not on a team. He's just a substitute and coach.
All right.
But game 2, what would you do as JusTus? That's the question. Because if
the picks and bans have got to be better.
Paradigm's
First of all,
rinse repeat, right?
The Fenrir didn't make sense on that comp.
Okay.
There was no reason to pick Fenrir into 2 hunters that have jumps, right? There was.